Good evening. I'm John Wensky, Chairperson of the Shrewsbury School Committee, and welcome to our meeting for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Tonight's meeting is being broadcast live on Cellco channels 29 and 329 and streamed live on Shrewsbury Media Connection's website. Thank you to Shrewsbury Media Connection Executive Director Mark Serra for his assistance with this broadcast. Tonight's meeting will be rebroadcast on SMC's website and their YouTube channel between now and our next scheduled meeting on Wednesday, June 5th. The first item on our agenda is public participation. We did receive a request to speak tonight. I'd like to invite Mr. Barnes to the podium. Before we get started, just a reminder, the school committee's role in this process is to listen to the public participant, but not comment. With that, Mr. Barnes, if you just introduce yourself and your street address, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Right on. Hi, my name is Andy Barnes, 115 Clinton Street. All right. In front of like teachers and stuff, I got nervous. I know what we're specifically supposed to talk on, and I am going to get there, okay? And I'm going to do it in under 3 minutes, all right? So I am not a native of Shrewsbury. I moved here about 10 years ago. My wife is a native of Shrewsbury. She grew up walking to Floral Street School. She was a walker. And then she was one of the first classes to attend the new high school that we have. And now she is one of the teachers at the new Beale School. And we have children now, and we actually live right across the street from what is currently Worcester Sand and Gravel. We hope that someday, we're very excited because where we live, we love where we live, and we're in the Beale School District. My kids, my oldest is a kindergartner. He gets to drive into school with his mom every day. He loves his teachers there. They're all fantastic. We want to keep living in Shrewsbury. And I recently found out that for the past 4 years, there's been a plan to build what has turned into a 16 football field sized warehouse with 554 diesel trucks, tractor trailers per day going in and out of that facility. The reason that it affects the school is the diesel fumes, number one, right? This isn't all just at the site. It's all around the site. The high school is very close to that site. It would affect my kids as walkers, right? Tons and tons of tractor trailers. I drive past the high school all the time to get over to the center of town. And I see tons and tons of huge trucks going down that road, even though you'd think they would go around the other way. I'm sure that everybody in Shrewsbury, when they're teenagers, are like driving like perfectly all the time and always like eyes on the road. I was not like that, right? I was a very distracted driver when I was a teenager. It was my worst years of driving for sure. And getting in a fender bender with a Kia Sorento is different than getting in a fender bender with a tractor trailer, right? I think it affects the kids that go, I see the cross-country runners all the time, right? They're running there. They're inhaling whatever air there is. And I just didn't know how many other people in town were unaware of how big this facility is and how much traffic it would be bringing in next to the town's only water source and next to the town's high school, right? Not everybody lives in that corner of Shrewsbury. I know it's not the most desirable corner of Shrewsbury. We love where we live. It is where everybody's children eventually go to school, in that same corner of Shrewsbury. So that's all the time I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnes. I will take your comments under advisement. Public participation is available to any and all residents that wish to address the committee regarding concerns pertaining to school policy, budget, and performance of the superintendent. In the future, please, if you wish to speak at a future public participation, you should contact the chairperson in advance of the next scheduled school committee meeting. School committee encourages residents to watch our meetings so they can become better acquainted with the operations and programs of the Shrewsbury Public Schools. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is chairperson and members' reports. Colleagues, anything? Ms. Rappaport?
I just wanted to thank our elementary art department, as well as the many elementary school artists that we have. Tonight was the elementary level art show at Beale, which had all of the elementary schools featured. So we went to it tonight. It was amazing, and it's a true testament to the artwork that was there. It's just incredible. But the teachers really have done a fantastic job with our students for them to be able to create such great work. So I just want to give a shout out to our art department at the elementary level.
Just also like to congratulate last week's inductees to the National Honor Society. Some have had a chance to attend the event last week. It was very well done, and congrats to all of the students that were inducted. Also last night to all the award winners and scholarship recipients at the Shrewsbury High School Awards Night. Congratulations to all of you, and a big thank you to all those that coordinated both events. Thank you so much. The next item on the agenda is Superintendent's Report. Dr. Sawyer.
Well, almost all my items were just
Sorry.
discussed, which is fine. But let me add my thanks and congratulations to all of our elementary students who had their work displayed in the elementary art show. And thank you, and job well done to our elementary art teachers who are fabulous. Just a super high quality program and some great creativity, very vibrant colors. It was great to stop by earlier and see that show. And we do have our high school art show tomorrow evening, so that's Thursday, the 16th, from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in the largest commons at Shrewsbury High, and you will be blown away by the quality of what our high school students produce in terms of visual arts, so encourage you to attend if you can. And I just want to add my thanks and congratulations to all of our students who were inducted in the National Honor Society, and those who were honored last night with awards, as well as scholarships. And I do want to thank, too many to list here briefly, but so many benefactors in our community who contributed to scholarships, whether individuals who contributed to the Town of Shrewsbury Scholarship or many local businesses. And we're very fortunate to have such generosity that our students who are heading off to college will be receiving from those benefactors. And then finally, I appreciated that Mr. Bizidlo also honored a number of students who are going into the armed forces at the conclusion of their high school career, 6 of them. All young men this year, I believe, who are going to be going to various branches of the service, and they received a standing ovation from those in attendance, which I thought was quite meaningful, and glad that we were honoring those students as well. That is Superintendent's report this evening.
Great, thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is a time scheduled appointment. It is with the Shrewsbury High School Student Advisory Committee. I could have them come up to the desk here. Under the Massachusetts Education Reform Act, school districts are required to have a student advisory committee consisting of 5 high school students who are elected by the student body. The SAC is required to meet with the school committee during the school year to review various issues of interest and concern to the student body. Mr. Andrew Smith, the SHS social sciences teacher, also serves as the faculty advisor to SAC. The agenda is in our reports. This will be the SAC's final report of the academic year, and I'd like to welcome them to the meeting tonight. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Of course. Hello, my name is Siri Ural. I am a senior, and I am the chairperson of the Student Advisory Committee. Thank you so much for having us here today to share our final agenda for this year. My fellow members will now go down the lines and introduce themselves.
My name is Venkata Duggareddy, and I'm a senior.
My name is Caroline Strickland, and I'm a junior.
My name is Noah Chonk, and I'm also a junior.
We'll begin with student life. With the second semester coming to a close, students are busy wrapping up their year. Student general feelings.
With only a week left of school, seniors are ending on a strong note. Students are preparing for any finals they have left to finish up and are continuing to maintain their grades and core values. The bittersweet end to the senior class's high school career is approaching, but we're celebrating the work and memories we've made during the past 4 years.
Sophomores and juniors are busy preparing for finals and making the best of the last few months in their year. Many inductions for honor societies and awards evenings have taken place at SHS over the past month, and underclassmen seem excited to continue celebrating their academic successes.
As our junior year is coming to an end, my classmates and I are beginning the college application process. Drafting essays, touring schools, asking for letters of recommendation, and thinking about the future in general is overwhelming but exciting at the same time, and many of us are looking forward to planning the next part of our lives.
With AP testing wrapping up this week and finals quickly approaching, students are excited to get their final assignments done and get ready for summer, with many students looking forward to volunteering, such as with our summer enrichment programs, or employment, or just a nice break from school.
Senior events. After winning the class cup in a close race against the junior class, the seniors are looking forward to many of the senior events in the following weeks. Commemoration and the senior faculty dinner allow us to support and appreciate our peers and faculty. We also get to celebrate and have fun with the senior picnic at Dean Park and senior prom on May 23rd and May 24th, before graduation at the end of May.
Safety Assembly. On April 25th, Shrewsbury High School upperclassmen filled the senior parking lot to learn from a mock crash. Professionals, including some alumni from SHS, came from UMass, the Shrewsbury Police Department, and Champa Funeral Home, and were all present to show students the effects of driving unsafely and under the influence. Students from Shrewsbury High School also partook in this demonstration, helping fellow classmates understand the real-world consequences of these accidents. The simulation encouraged students to drive responsibly, especially those that attended the following proms.
Next up, we'll have co-curriculars. SHS students have had a great time getting involved with co-curriculars outside of school.
Sports. SHS's spring season of sports has continued to achieve success in all venues of competition. The high jump and the 4x1600 meter relay, which included our very own Noah Chunk, were two school records that this year's track team has broken. Additionally, on May 9th, the boys lacrosse team ran its annual Camo game. In its 13th year, Shrewsbury and Wachusett teams faced off as rivals in one of the biggest lacrosse games each season. The Camo game extends beyond the field, with the teams competing to get more donations, Camo jersey sales, and ticket sales than the other. The proceeds go towards Project New Hope, an organization that supports local veterans and their families in Central Mass.
Diversity Committee. On May 6th, the Diversity Committee held the Africa segment of their Cultures of the World series. The event was held in a classroom where trifolds were set up presenting different aspects of the cultures of Africa, including games and traditions. Food from Ghana was also available, and a senior from our school, Larique, presented on her transition from Ghana to the United States, as well as social issues there and how her family retains their culture.
Fashion Club. On April 26th, the SHS Fashion Club hosted their first ever runway event at the high school. The club had an incredibly successful start, bringing in close to 150 people to watch these talented students show off their passions, and featuring designs from 15 students and 30 model walks. This event was an entire school year in the making, and we are so excited to see what else the club has planned for their future.
Classics Day. Shrewsbury's National Latin Honor Society attended Classics Day at Holy Cross. There, we won second place in the upper level Curtamen tournament, a Latin trivia competition, as well as second place in the costume and skip performances with our rendition of Caesar's assassination gone wrong.
United Sound/Symphony. United Sound, a program of Shrewsbury High School, brings together students with varying levels of musical experience to create a supportive atmosphere for learning and collaboration. Participants, both teaching and learning new music, have found it to be a welcoming space for self-expression through the art of music. On Thursday, May 2nd, United Sound showcased their musical talent and development alongside the symphony ensemble, performing songs like Scorpion and celebrating My Three Best Friends, while also commemorating the meaningful connections forged throughout the past year.
And finally, we have events at SHS. Students have been finding ways to strengthen the SHS community through various events.
School elections. This spring, the elections for all positions took place earlier than they have in the past. With this change, new members of STUCO and class officers will have the chance to work with each other in preparation for the quick succession of school events that take place early in the fall. Because so many campaigns were taking place at the same time, our hallways were plastered with posters and slogans for over 80 students hoping to win a position. Campaign speeches were recorded and aired during 2 different homeroom periods, and voting took place during the days that followed.
World Language Awards Night. On April 11th, the annual World Language Awards Night took place in the SHS Auditorium, with special awards for students and the yearly induction of the sophomore and junior class into language honor societies. Alongside 11 students from the middle school honored for outstanding achievements in foreign language, 55 SHS students earned Seals of Biliteracy, an award given to those with excellent performances on both the English MCAS as well as the biliteracy exam.
Class formals. The sophomore and junior formals both occurred during the past few weeks. On April 27th, the 10th graders were able to enjoy the sophomore semi, dancing with friends in the high school commons. Around 300 sophomores were at the dance. Similarly, on May 11th, the junior class was able to unwind and have fun during junior prom, After a challenging year for most 11th graders, nearly 400 students attended the event at Union Station.
AP Environmental Science Field Trip. On Friday the 26th, AP Environmental Science students went on a three-pronged field trip to the Westboro Wastewater Treatment Plant, E.L. Harvey & Sons, a waste management center, and the Wind Landfill to learn more about waste management in our Waste of a Day field trip. At the landfill, Don Musial and Win Waste, for the second year in a row, donated $17,500 to the Career Exploration and Innovation Pathways program, as well as $17,500 to the RISE and Maple and Maine programs. This funding will provide transportation to students and staff, as well as other resources for school to career development.
And thank you all for your continuous support of the Student Advisory Committee.
Great, thank you for the reports. Colleagues, questions or comments? Ms. Boucher.
I'd just like to thank you all for your report and for your reports all year. They've been excellent, and we so appreciate hearing directly from the students. Did have a question about moving up the elections this year, just what your feedback is on that, how you think it went, and do you think it'll provide more time for transition between the current officers and the future officers? And if you could just give us your comments.
Well, I know last year on SAC we were able to meet before the end of the school year, and it helped us transition quickly into next school year when we needed to start preparing our topics for the meetings. And I'm sure that officers in Stuco will be able to meet sooner, and the same thing will happen.
Okay. I will say in other committees or other student organizations we're planning specific events, it's definitely going to be much more helpful to have more of that planning done in advance. But it was a bit more difficult to tell who was running for what. But.
Any additional questions? Ms. Heffernan?
No, really just a comment. I think, our last meeting, when I think about the number and variety of activities that are going on, someone in my house attended the fashion, what do we call it? Fashion club? No, there's a better word for that. Runway, yeah, and I was frankly shocked that he went, but I then came home and said what a great time it was, and how hard students have been working all year on their designs, and so, but that to the diversity club, to the classics club, there's just an awful lot happening in that building. I also know there's not a lot of space every day for all of the things, so I'm sure you're all managing in rather tight environment. And then I think about, we had the DECA students here our last meeting, and that is an incredibly large organization that also is running out of space. So I am impressed with what you all as student and student leaders help to manage. I know you have a lot of administrative support trying to help figure that all out as well. But I certainly am always interested in our last meeting, if we can, from hearing from our seniors about where they're off to and what's next, because you are an important link for us, and we wish you well. But if that's all right, Mr. Wensky.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll be heading to Stanford University in the fall, studying economics and data science.
And I'm going to Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science, and I'm going to be doing pre-med.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Thank you for your time here. We really appreciated it.
Yeah. Other questions or comments? Thank you so much for the report and for all the reports throughout the year. You've been outstanding advocates for your peers about student life at Shrewsbury High School. Really appreciate the level of detail you're providing and how well prepared and presented you are. Really outstanding work. So thank you, and a big thank you to your advisor, Mr. Smith, for all the work that he puts into this as well. Very appreciative of his dedication to the students here. So thank you so much. Dr. Sawyer, any further comments?
I just want to also thank the SAC for all of their presentations this year and giving a window into what life is like at Shrewsbury High School. And I know it helps the school committee understand how the various elements of the program interact and what student experiences are like, myself as well. So really appreciate and really always very polished and professional presentations, which we appreciate. So at this time, we do have a certificate for each of you. We'd love to have you come up and shake the hands of the committee, and then maybe stand up here. We'll do a quick picture, maybe with Mr. Smith and Mr. Bizidlo, and then we will you'll be all set. So come on up, and I do want to mention Anya Gupta, who is a member of the class of 24, could not be here today, so we want to recognize her as well. But come on up, and thank you again. Congratulations.
Nice job, thank you.
All right. Congratulations, thank you. And Noah, well done, thanks. All right, so why don't you guys come on, stand right up here in front of the desk.
We'll go behind the desk.
All right, Mr. Smith, Mr. Pizzillo. Come around. Does that work?
I'm far too small to be behind Noah.
Balance it.
There you go.
Great.
I know.
Come on, Mr. Smith. Thank you. How about a round of applause for our SAT?
All right, thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is a time schedule appointment. It's student recognition of senior scholars from Shrewsbury High School. Excuse me. Each year, the school committee recognizes the 10 senior students with the highest grade point average in their class. A brief bio sketch of each is provided in our enclosed report. The senior scholars will be introduced in alphabetical order and will briefly comment on their school experience. So with that, hand it to Dr. Sawyer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wensky, and this is always a highlight of us, our year, as we come to the close of another year at Shrewsbury High School and the graduating senior class. I had the opportunity, as has been the tradition, to have breakfast with the senior scholars along with Mr. Bzidlo and the assistant principals at the high school, and learn a little bit about their experience in Shrewsbury Public Schools, and particularly in the last 4 years at the high school. And they were very insightful, very helpful, both in terms of things that were helpful and positive experience they had, and things that they think that we could do better for those following in their footsteps. So appreciated all the feedback that they gave to us. In terms of this evening, each of their school counselors, and for those watching at home, traditionally known as guidance counselors, their school counselor who is assigned to the student has written a blurb that gives a flavor of some of their accomplishments. Not all of them. This would be a very long agenda item if we read everyone's accomplishments, because they are quite accomplished group. But I will read the introduction or the summary of their successes at Shrewsbury High School, and then we'll ask that student to come to the podium. They're going to make some brief remarks, and we'll continue to go down the line in alphabetical order. I know we have one student athlete who may not be here yet, so we'll make sure that we wait. He is here. Oh, there he is. We'll be fine then. But we will start with Michaela Foley. Humble and kind are the first two words that come to mind for her counselor when thinking of Michaela. She holds herself to high standards, which are evident in how she's consistently achieved academic excellence throughout her high school career. As a student, she strives to do her best, always expects this from herself. She's been recognized as an AP scholar. Michaela plans to pursue a career that will mesh her love for both math and science while helping people live a better life. Over the last 3 years of Shrewsbury High School, and into her fourth, Michaela has truly bloomed into a recognized leader within the community, evident in her being inducted into numerous honor societies, serving as a peer mentor, as well as participating in the unified sports program with Special Olympics in basketball and track and field. Michaela played soccer throughout high school, and in her senior year managed the team so she could dedicate more time to her studies. She has a natural tendency to lean in and help others. She is hardworking, an organized individual who wants to do great things, all while showing compassion towards others and exhibiting a great sense of humility. Michaela will be attending Villanova University and plans to major in chemical engineering. Please welcome Michaela to the podium.
Good evening. I want to start off by thanking Dr. Sawyer and the school committee for inviting us to today's meeting and giving us the opportunity to say a few words. Thank you for all the work you guys put in behind the scenes to help us students to succeed. I also want to thank all of the faculty at Shrewsbury High School for their support and guidance throughout my high school career. The positive learning environment at Shrewsbury High School has allowed me to be successful and always feel supported. I can confidently say that I always feel like I belong and can be my best self when walking through the hallways of Shrewsbury High School.
I want to give a special thank you to Mrs. Busso and Mrs. Pryor, who have been excellent teachers throughout my years in Shrewsbury Public Schools, and have played a large role in my development both as a student and a person. Mrs. Busso and Mrs. Pryor have always pushed me to be the best student I can possibly be. Even when learning difficult material, they always ensured that I felt supported and gave me all of the resources necessary to be successful. These two amazing teachers have had such an impact on my academic success, and for that I will always be grateful. Finally, I want to give a huge thank you to my family for their unwavering support and love. My parents and sisters are and always have been my biggest cheerleaders, constantly pushing me to be the best I can be and helping me to achieve my goals. Their encouragement means everything to me. It has been an honor to be a student at Shrewsbury High School. Specifically, I have had some of my most memorable moments at SHS throughout my 4 years of taking Latin and my involvement in the Unified program. Both of these tight-knit communities have had such a lasting impact on me, and I will remember them long after graduation. I also want to say a huge congratulations to the other members of the top 10 for their amazing achievements. Thank you.
Next, we have Krish Gupta. Krish is known as an independent self-starter. He's willing to step out of his comfort zone and take the lead in and out of the classroom. Krish cares about others and the world around him. He's extraordinarily empathetic towards others. He has a passion for making the world a better place. Krish is grateful for all that he's been given and the endless opportunities he continues to have. He has the capability and ambition to accomplish anything he puts his mind to. He loves being a leader and wants to positively change people's lives. Krish is president of the SHS Student Council, member of the speech and debate team, second alternate in a national qualifier, secretary of the National Latin Honor Society, member of DECA, and captain on the varsity tennis team where he was the first singles top player, at least in the spring of 2023. I'm not sure about 2024. I'm sure he's continuing to do very well. A few of his academic accomplishments included recipient of the Yale Book Award, the Superintendent's Award for Academic Excellence, and the Student Athlete Academic Award. Krish does his best to prepare for all situations so he can put himself in the best position to achieve his goals and dreams. Krish will be attending New York University and plans to study finance. Please welcome Krish to the podium.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to thank Dr. Sawyer and the school committee for organizing this event today. You guys don't get enough credit for what you guys do, and we're truly appreciative for your efforts. And I'm truly humbled and grateful for being here today, and I want to make it clear that this honor is not just mine. Throughout my journey at Shrewsbury High School in the public school system, I've gotten to know countless teachers, friends, and individuals who have all impacted me to this point. And I'd like to thank two individuals who helped me out in particular. First, I want to say a big thank you to Ms. Moisen, who's been a big part of my high school experience. As the student council advisor from my freshman year to my junior year, Ms. Moisen has given me so much advice. She's helped me in times of stress and always provided a safe space for me to help come and talk to her. And I'm truly thankful for her impact on me. So thank you, Ms. Moisen. And another thank you I'd like to give is to my high school tennis coach, Stephen Josh Handy. He's been my coach for over a decade, and I can never really thank him enough for how much he has done for me. Aside from tennis, he's been really impactful and has taught me many life skills that I feel like I could be able to use in college and beyond. So thank you, Coach, for being there when I needed you, and hopefully we can stay in touch. So in my times at Shrewsbury Schools, I've learned to adhere to the values of empathy, perseverance, and courage. And by participating in clubs such as Student Council and even being a part of the tennis team, I feel like I've become a part of a community where I can feel comfortable. And the opportunities that this town has offered is a big part of why I can do that. And that's kudos to you guys for how much effort you guys put into this school committee. So thank you guys. And before ending off, I'd like to give one last thanks to my family, to my mom, to my dad, and to my sister, who have been with me for this whole journey. None of this would be possible without them, and I'm forever indebted for their support. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Krish. Our next honoree is Alicia Kim. Alicia is an extremely gifted student and learner. Her intellect has been applauded by her teachers on numerous occasions. Combine this with her attentiveness, thoughtful participation in discussions, high work ethic, and it is not surprising to see Alicia's success. She's always been a sharp thinker and has a love of learning. She enjoys acquiring knowledge to help embrace the fact that she will continue to be a lifelong learner. Within SHS, Alicia has been an integral member of the student body. She's the founder and president of the Cancer Awareness Club, a valued member of the Student Council, and a team candidate for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Outside of SHS, Alicia is a flautist in the Youth Philharmonic Orchestra at New England Conservatory Preparatory School. In the All-State Band, Alicia's been the top flautist for 3 years running. She has a wide range of research opportunities, including studying under Dr. Abigail Waldman at Brigham and Women's Hospital and Dr. Benjamin Nephew at WPI. Alicia will be attending Brown University in the fall, studying psychology while also on the pre-med track. Please welcome Alicia.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me here. First, I want to thank the school committee who have made it possible for my Shrewsbury School experience to be as fulfilling and rewarding as it was. I'd also like to thank my teachers, especially Madam Duffy, Ms. Pryor, and Mr. Russell, for their continuous dedication, guidance, and support. Thank you for creating a nurturing environment where I've been able to grow, learn, and succeed. Next, I'd like to thank my friends who have been by my side and supported me even when I doubted myself, which was a lot of the time. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my family, especially my parents, for their unwavering encouragement and for constantly pushing me to do my best. You've been there every step of the way, and I am filled with gratitude. I also want to acknowledge the diverse programs and extracurricular activities that have enriched my time within the district. From the numerous offerings of the music program to student council, these experiences have taught me invaluable life lessons about teamwork, perseverance, and leadership. In closing, I am truly grateful for the support, guidance, and opportunities that I have received throughout my educational journey. To my family, the school committee, the staff at SHS, and all of the teachers and mentors who have made a difference in my life, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alicia. Our next honoree is Meghana Lingamarla. Meghana has always had a passion for learning while being a bright, curious, and creative learner. As a person, one of the things she's most proud of is that she's a stress-free person. As long as she's comfortable with the amount of effort she puts into an assignment, she has faith the results will be strong. This has helped her to lead a balanced life in which she's also been able to follow her interests. Her art has always been very meaningful to her, which has allowed her to express herself in a unique manner. Within school, Meghana is a valued member of the National Honor Society, the Math National Honor Society, and the French National Honor Society. Her math internships that she had with multiple teachers have been one of her favorite experiences. She has been able to help many of her peers find success in math and enjoyment within their academics. Upon graduation, she'll be attending the University of Massachusetts Amherst and studying computer science. Please welcome Meghana to the podium.
Hello, and thanks to the school committee for having us. When I was thinking back on my experience in the Shrewsbury School District, my mom suggested that I mention the story of my first day in the school system, which is a good idea, so that's what I'm going to do. We moved here from Michigan when I was 6, so first grade, and I wasn't particularly happy about that at the time because moving across states isn't easy for a kid. I was really upset and cried about how I wanted to move back if I didn't like it here and so on and so forth. And yet, when I came back for my very first day of first grade in Mrs. Harrington's class, my attitude had completely turned around. I was smiling and skipping and talking about how much fun I had. In fact, I was so happy that I didn't even notice that my older sister got on the wrong bus and didn't come home with me. Now, because I was 6 years old at the time, I don't remember what it was that made such a great impression on me, but I can definitely say that it wasn't just the first day in the school district that was a positive experience. It's been wonderful throughout all 12 years I've been here, and I would like to thank all the friends, faculty, and family who made it that way. And I would like to particularly mention my appreciation for the math department here at SHS. Mrs. Pryor, who is my teacher for calculus and pre-calculus, showed me an aspect of math that I found genuinely fascinating. Mr. Collins, who I currently have for math modeling, taught me the very valuable and surprisingly fun skill of using Google Sheets. Ms. Dorita, Mrs. Denise, and Mrs. Noel, who is also my current and 9th grade math teacher, were all kind enough to let me participate in their other classes as a teaching assistant, which is undoubtedly one of the most meaningful experiences I've had here at SHS. And there are still many more teachers and people who have had a role in my journey here in the Shrewsbury School District, who I appreciate just as much. So thank you to all of them, and once again to the school committee for having me.
Our next honoree is Rebecca Powers. Rebecca is an incredibly creative writer, talented musician, and inquisitive student. Rebecca has a love for history and humanities subjects as they allow her to gain new perspectives about not only the U.S., but other countries and cultures. Rebecca is also a talented writer and enjoys writing a range of content, including books, scripts, music, infomercials, poster designs, and more. For her honors capstone project, Rebecca focused on writing a novel through the adolescent perspective about navigating high school life. Outside of the classroom, Rebecca is involved in the school community through the Mentor Volunteer Program, the Triumph Music National Honor Society, the National Honor Society, and is the editor-in-chief of the SHS Town Crier, and has been a member of the Massachusetts Central District Choir as well as the Massachusetts All-State Choir. Outside of school, Rebecca is a very active member of her church, St. Mary's, where she teaches a group of first grade students and sings as Cantor number 1. With her love of learning, unmatched intellectual curiosity, devotion to community, and exceptional maturity, Rebecca will undoubtedly see much success in college and beyond. Next fall, Rebecca plans on attending the College of William & Mary to further pursue her passions as an English major in their joint degree program, where she will also spend 2 years attending the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Please welcome Rebecca to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Sawyer, and thank you to the school committee for having me here tonight. Firstly, I'd like to thank my parents for emphasizing that working hard and having fun are more important than getting good grades. Thank you to my sister, Marlena, for always making me laugh. And thank you to my extended family for sharing my excitement whenever I accomplish something new. It's a great privilege to be a student in the Shrewsbury Public Schools, and I'm immensely grateful for every opportunity I've been given over the past 13 years. My experience has largely been shaped by my teachers. Shrewsbury has fantastic educators who have helped me grow on both an academic and personal level. I'd like to acknowledge Mrs. Caforio, Mr. Clark, Mr. Lapomardo, Mr. Spillane, Mrs. Burnett, and Mrs. Bredberg for pushing me to think critically, encouraging me to ask questions, and providing me with every resource I needed to succeed. Additionally, I'd like to thank Dr. Thompson and Mr. Bellimer for sharing your love of Latin with me. I didn't know anything about Latin when I signed up for Mr. Bellimer's class at 12 years old, but over the past 6 years, my study of the language has changed me as a person, and I'm incredibly excited to be studying classics and English at Holy Cross in the fall. My college plans changed almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I got the Henry Bean Scholarship to study classics at Holy Cross, and I'm very excited about it. I'd also like to thank everyone at St. Mary's for creating a community full of love and providing me with opportunities to use my gifts. In particular, thank you to Mrs. Canfield for pushing me out of my comfort zone and teaching me the importance of responsibility. Lastly, thank you to God for all the times I decided to pray for a good test grade instead of studying as much as I should have. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next, we have Leah Rabinovich. Leah is an extremely self-motivated and dedicated student, and she's always ready to learn and take on new challenges, no matter how outside of her comfort zone it may be. Some of Leah's academic accomplishments include achieving the Seal of Biliteracy in French with distinction in 11th grade and being part of the National Honor Society, including the Triumph Music National Honor Society and the National English Honor Society. She's also an accomplished dancer, having participated in dance for over a decade, and now is a teaching assistant for her dance group. Additionally, Leah's dedication to her community is reflected in her community service work and mentorship with both French and math tutoring, leading the Cancer Awareness Club as its vice president, and fundraising for mental health through bake sales. Leah is quick to adapt to new situations, ready to take on challenges, and has a strong desire for continued growth and learning. No doubt Leah will find much success in the next year, where she'll be attending the University of California, Los Angeles to pursue a major in neuroscience. Please welcome Leah to the podium.
I want to first thank Dr. Sawyer and the school committee for all they do for the Shrewsbury School District, as well as for offering me this opportunity today. I'd also like to thank my counselor, Ms. Young, for always being there to support and guide me through high school. From entering high school as a freshman in a hybrid learning environment to getting where I am today has definitely been a journey, and I'd like to especially thank my family and friends for their unwavering support and for helping me grow as a person during these past 4 years. One thing that really surprised me coming into high school was how understanding the teachers are and how they care about their students' success beyond an academic level. And one example of this was my French teacher last year, Madam Duffy. She was always really sweet, and you could tell that she genuinely cared about each one of her students, both academically and personally. Her class was honestly really comforting as she created a very welcoming and open environment for us to share our opinions and collaborate with one another. She made every effort to push all of us to be our best selves, and I truly appreciate that. I'd also like to mention my BC Calc teacher, Ms. Pryor, as her teaching style and passion for both math and teaching makes her classes engaging and sets her apart from all the other math teachers I've ever had. Another thing I value about SHS is my place in certain tight-knit communities that stick from year to year, such as those formed through my involvement in music and foreign language. Overall, I'm truly grateful to have gone to school in Shrewsbury, as I'm confident that the wide selection of courses and the rigor has prepared me well for college. I'd lastly like to congratulate the other students who made it to the top 10, and I'm glad to have gotten to know many of them throughout our time together.
Thank you, Leah. Our next honoree is Sebastian Salvin. Determined, open-minded, and genuine, Sebastian's an integral member of the SHS student body. He is president of the National Honor Society, vice president of the Spanish National Honor Society, captain of the cross-country team, and runs the 400-meter event for the track program. Outside of SHS, Sebastian's an active member in the community. He's developed and utilized his leadership skills every summer, where he's been a camp counselor at a Christian day camp in West Boylston called Camp Woodhaven, as well as a ski instructor at Ski Ward and a church volunteer at St. Mary's. Sebastian also spends time as a medical shadower volunteer at St. Vincent Hospital. One job that requires one of his many talents is that he plays piano at Champa Funeral Home during wakes. Sebastian loves international travel, trying different ethnic cuisines, music, especially James Taylor, and is proud of his Romanian roots and European heritage. His career goal is to become a practicing physician to carry on his family legacy of working in medicine. Sebastian will be continuing his education at Northeastern University with a major in behavioral neuroscience. Please welcome Sebastian.
Hello, thank you. First, I would like to thank the school committee for inviting me to speak today, and congratulations to the other top 10 members. I feel honored to be part of the top 10, and I am privileged to be able to graduate from one, if not the best school district in the country, in my opinion, Shrewsbury. Additionally, I would like to thank my family, my mom and dad who are here today, and my brother Christian, who's currently also at SHS, he's a sophomore, who have pushed me to always be the best and continue to emphasize the importance of hard work and perseverance. My 12 years in the Shrewsbury Public School system has made me who I am today, and my experience has been overwhelmingly positive and supportive. Since elementary school, I've had amazing teachers whose passion for their subject and their profession are clear each day, each class. I would like to recognize some of the many, many teachers who have made a lasting impact in my life. First of all, my third grade teacher at Patton Elementary School, Mrs. Darling, whose rubber duck reward system pushed me to be the best I could, even as a little 8-year-old. My 8th grade science teacher, Mrs. Davies, and 12th grade psych teacher, Mrs. Gray, who opened my eyes to the sciences and sparked my love for biology and psychology, respectively, both of which I will be studying next year. My math teacher this year and class officer advisor for 2 years while I was vice president, Mrs. Pryor, whose passion for teaching calculus has inspired me to give 110% each day, not just in class, but outside of school as well. My 9th and 11th grade Spanish teacher, Senor Montalvo, whose outgoing personality and knowledge kept me captivated in class. My National Honor Society advisor, Mrs. Ariel, who has been nothing but caring and helpful for me this year and contributed to a cohesive ending to my high school career. And lastly, but not least, my choir teacher for the past 4 years, Mr. Lapamardo, who was always there to push me out of my comfort zone and made sure I never got complacent. More than just a teacher, Mr. Lapamardo has been a genuine mentor and friend to me and to my classmates in the C Wing. The Shrewsbury Public School music program, led by Mr. L at the high school, transformed me from a quiet, reserved kid to the extroverted person I am today. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all my teachers that have shaped me or contributed to my education in any way over the past decade. And thank you again to the school committee for giving me the opportunity to speak here today. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Siri Ural. Siri is a standout student according to her teachers. She continually brings great insight and perspective to all of her classes through discussion and written work, enriching the experience for the entire group. Her drive to contribute to her school and community have allowed her to balance a challenging academic schedule with an equally time-consuming list of activities and leadership roles. To name just a few, Siri is a 5-time speech and debate national finalist, including being national runner-up, a national merit scholar, and she has also published her capstone research paper on resource inequity and public forum debate. Other accomplishments that stand out are serving as the chair of the SHS Student Advisory Committee, as we saw earlier, working as a policy researcher for the Mass Coalition for the Homeless, serving as the equity director for the Extempers Bible, a national nonprofit that alleviates resource disparity in debate, and being a farm lead at the Community Harvest Project. Siri's already made a huge impact in our community, both academically and in service, and will undoubtedly continue her pursuit in college at Stanford University. Please welcome Siri.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for having me here today. Coming into high school, I never expected to find my second home in the places that I did. Evening practices with my speech and debate team, last-minute edits with the Student Advisory Committee, and the bonding that can only come from track and field workouts. Shrewsbury High School has truly gifted me more than I could have ever wished for. I've had the privilege to work with some incredible people, like Mrs. Burnap, my book-loving third-grade teacher, who emulates what it truly means to have a passion, like Mrs. Bredberg, who selflessly dedicated countless hours to helping me with my capstone research project, and my debate coaches, including Mark Verschitelli, who over the past 7 years has instilled a power of public speaking and a permanent value for the power of a voice. If there was one thing I've learned from high school, it's that grades are important, but I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the pure love and guidance I felt from my SHS communities. I'd like to end with a few thank yous. So thank you to my teachers, Mr. Bazidlo and Dr. Sawyer, for putting in the effort to truly see each and every single one of their students. The biggest thank you to my mom and dad, who are here today, for always supporting me unconditionally, even if I've thrown them multiple curveballs over the past few years. And finally, to my older brother. He may have forgotten to mention me in his own top 10 speech 6 years ago. Clearly, I haven't forgotten that. But he has undoubtedly paid his debt back in the way that he has guided me throughout the years and become the single most impactful influence on who I am today. So Cheer, if you're watching this, thank you for being my chosen best friend. And finally, to the school committee. I began my Shrewsbury journey as a little colonial 14 years ago and haven't looked back since. So thank you all for working to foster an environment where every SHS and other school students can feel the exact same way. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Marla Zaks. Marla is a serious student who's passionate about her studies and activities. She's a student who goes above and beyond to understand material and persevere through challenges. Her advanced communication skills, raw talent, and her dedication to excellence are recognized by all of her teachers. Some of her notable achievements have been the Harvard Book Award, the Superintendent's Award for Academic Excellence, and the United States History Award. Marla is a dedicated percussionist in the music program at SHS and is also a member of the All-State Band and the Worcester Youth Symphony Orchestra. She spent time as an intern at the UMass Chan Medical School in the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biotechnology. She's made her mark at SHS and will continue her pursuit of excellence at her chosen college. When this went to press, she had not yet made a decision about college. I'm not sure if she has yet. She can let us know one way or the other, but please welcome to the podium, Marla Zaks.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here tonight. It's obviously a huge honor to be able to speak here with all of you and with my peers and to celebrate our successes. I would first like to thank the school committee for all of your hard work, Dr. Sawyer, Mr. Bazidlo, and all of the staff in the Shrewsbury community that have made this possible. I'm also beyond thankful for my parents and all the support that they have provided me throughout my high school experience and my entire school experience, especially through the challenges of senior year. I believe that they are the foundation of my success, and I will always appreciate their guidance and unconditional understanding. No matter what it is that I'm going through or what it is that I wish to pursue, they've always wanted what is best for me and to see me happy. So once again, thank you to my mom and dad for always supporting me. I'm also grateful for the many great teachers that I've had, especially at SHS. There's so many passionate teachers, such as Miss Pryor, who a lot of you have already mentioned. I'm sure you're already aware of how great she is, but she has made an otherwise challenging subject just so incredibly interesting and actually made me really passionate to learn about it. I would also like to thank my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Herbert, for always creating a fun and welcoming environment for her students. She has been one of the most consistently positive aspects of my high school experience these past 4 years. Lastly, I'd like to recognize our school's music program. It's something I've been involved with since I was a freshman and throughout middle school. It has truly allowed me to grow as a musician, and I appreciate all the opportunities that it has provided for me, especially things like the musicals, which are run by Mr. L, and the auditions for districts and all-state, both of which were fun and incredibly challenging. So yeah, once again, I appreciate the encouragement I've received from all of these people and programs throughout the last 4 years. They've undoubtedly carried me to where I am now, and I will always be grateful for that. And for the college thing, I actually recently got accepted into Cornell, so that's one of the schools I'm considering right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. And our last honoree this evening, alphabetically, is Angela Zhang. Angela is a dedicated student and talented artist. According to her senior AP art teacher, she is one of the most hardworking and talented students she has seen in 27 years of teaching. She's not only dedicated to her art, but she's open to new ideas and techniques. She's a true student of the arts, and she shows the same dedication and pride across all of her classes. Some of her top achievements as a student have been multiple art awards, including the Silver Key Award, being a leader in the National Art Honor Society, and completing her senior capstone project involving screen printing. Angela also is a teacher assistant and student at a local art studio, completed a summer program at the Rhode Island School of Design, and is proud of painting the class of 2024 banner for 3 years. She certainly made her mark at SHS, and we are excited to see what her college experience will bring for her. Angela will be attending Boston University as a member of the Killichand Honors College and will be majoring in painting. Please welcome Angela to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. I am so honored to be here today. I would like to first thank the school committee for recognizing me tonight and also for supporting not just me, but the entire student body of the Shrewsbury Public School System. It has truly been a wonderful experience as a student who has attended Shrewsbury Public Schools since the first grade. I would like to give a special thanks to my first and second grade teacher, Mrs. Grossman at Floral Street School, whose class gave me an amazing start to my 12 years of education here. I would also like to thank my 8th grade social studies teacher, Miss Amaral, who sparked my interest in art history. I would like to thank my art teacher, Mrs. Fox, for teaching me for 2 years and for helping me prepare for college to pursue fine arts. I would also like to thank Mrs. Herbert for being a wonderful homeroom teacher who has always been there to support me during all 4 years of high school. I want to thank my friends who've given me so much energy and always have been there to help me. Finally, I want to thank my family who has been my greatest supporters for all my life. My parents truly have inspired me to become the best version of myself and have led me to where I am today. As I move on to a new chapter of my life, I will not forget the amazing support I have received here at Shrewsbury. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Colleagues, any questions or comments on Ms. Boucher?
I just want to congratulate all of you, and I'd also like to acknowledge your families who have supported you throughout your educational journeys. As many of you know, Mr. Wensky and I both have students in the class of 2024, so this night is always very special to us, but especially so for me this year, because I know many of you personally, and I've been able to see, witness some of these accomplishments firsthand, both academically and your amazing co-curricular activities as well. And I'm also have been lucky enough to know you as great friends, as great students, but great leaders that have created an amazing culture at Shrewsbury High School and a really positive class of 2024. So I just want to wish you all the best in the next chapter and every success going forward.
Ms. Fritz.
Again, congratulations to all of you. It's always so impressive when you come up here and we not only hear about your academic success, which is wonderful, but all the other things you're doing in your lives at the same time that you're studying and looking forward to that next phase in your life. You've got community service, you're bringing soft skills that are going to get you very far in life. So congratulations on that. And I always think about when we talk, we do think Shrewsbury is the best district around. But we also know in our, we've had students who have left and gone on to college from a public high school. They do just as well or sometimes better than their peers who are coming into colleges from really nice private schools across the country. So you make us all very proud, and this is why we do what we do, so that you can be successful as you move forward. So congratulations, and thank you to your families. Again, they're the ones who got you to where you are, so congratulations to everyone.
First thing that I want to say is that this was your moment to shine in front of us. And you put the spotlight on your teachers, which is an amazing thing, because one of the things that we want to make sure in the Shrewsbury Public Schools is that you connect with someone in your building. They, whether it's, a personal connection or they just give you that spark that just, you're like, I want to go into English, or I want to do painting. And I'm so glad that you recognize those teachers. And it's not just in the high school. There was a lot of kindergarten teachers and elementary. So thank you for doing that. They have really molded you into the people that you are today. This was such a huge accomplishment, and it's amazing that you're not only accomplished students, but you're going off to some fantastic schools, and you're able to partake in clubs and teams and volunteering in the community. Some of your volunteer activities are so impressive, and you make a difference. And you've made us proud, and it makes what we do that much more rewarding and important. But you have made the people that are sitting with you right now so very proud. So congratulations.
Thank you. It is one of my favorite evenings volunteering on the school committee is the last 40 minutes, because we just smile the whole time. And you all can't see your parents as you're talking to us, but watching them, this is and Understand Awards night was last night. I wasn't able to attend, but this is sort of the first of many weeks of people smiling at you, slightly weepy, but they're actually very, very happy for you. And whether I know you personally or not, the appreciation that you show both for the faculty that you've had, the family who are in the room or here with you virtually, hopefully watching, that older brother of yours who had a dig at you years back, but even down to your homeroom teachers and what that has meant to your experiences is just it's really quite lovely to be here. So and while this honor is about grades and is about hard work, the diversity of experiences that you have had and the ways and different ways you find to shine or find that special home for yourself that maybe isn't in a classroom, or maybe it is and something else is just what this is supposed to be all about. So it really is quite lovely. I want to thank you for thanking us, but really this is about us thanking you, because you represent the best of us, and it is quite an honor to watch and see what you're all going to do, and you're going to go shine, and I can't wait to see more of it. So welcome, enjoy, congratulations, and enjoy the next few weeks.
Thank you. Well, it is the most wonderful time of the year for school committee members. I can assure you that this is always a really rewarding time for all of us here. And just congratulations to your academic success, but also co-curricular success as well, and how you balance that work-life balance, academics, co-curriculars, community service, and just day-to-day life. I mean, it is amazing to hear the stories. And as Ms. Boucher said, obviously being a parent of the class of 2024, I've lived it from that perspective, and it has been a journey, hasn't it? I mean, I just think about that moment when you were kind of uprooted from 8th grade, and it was kind of remote pandemic learning. And then we came into freshman year, first time in high school, and you're in hybrid mode, whatever that is, because we weren't used to it. And then coming back into sophomore year, full in-person learning, you've all shown tremendous amount of perseverance through this. To be here tonight what you've achieved is just, I'm in awe, to be honest with you. And I really appreciate the gratitude that you've shown your teachers, and a big thank you to the teachers and staff that were referenced tonight, and just the love that you have for them and for your families. And just a big thank you also to your families who are here tonight, and to everybody that supported you throughout your journey. I want to thank you all for that, and for sharing your successes and for being here tonight. So thank you so much. Dr. Sawyer, any further comments?
Congratulations to our scholars. We really are deeply proud of the work you've done and the accomplishments that were all referenced, and it's really quite remarkable. Thank you to your families for supporting you as students out throughout the past however many years they've been in Shrewsbury. Many have been here their entire academic careers, or came in first grade, as we heard, and it's something that is meaningful to me to hear many of you reference not only your more recent experiences in high school, but also experiences you had as children at the elementary level or middle school level, and the impact that had on you. We always, and I know Mr. Bazidlo references it frequently, the success that our students at the high school have wouldn't be possible if it weren't for all the educators, whether those are teachers, whether those are paraprofessionals, whether those are our secretaries, our custodians, our cafeteria staff, certainly our principals, assistant principals, our counselors, our nurses, all the different positions that we have supporting students throughout the school. We're really fortunate to have a community in Shrewsbury that's provided the resources for you to be able to excel. We are very excited about your futures. We hope that you pursue things that give you great satisfaction. And I know that I heard a few of you reference the fact that it's really about a love of learning, and it's really about trying to find ways to do something meaningful through what you learn. And that's something that, to me, is a quite mature and wise approach to take. So congratulations again, and job well done. At this time, we do have a gift for you, which is an inscribed pen and pencil set. It is blue and gold, of course. And we would like to present that to you. And if you could come up and shake the committee's hand, get your award, and then I think we'll all gather in front of the desk, perhaps with this group, and do some photos before we move on to our next agenda item. So how about a round of applause for our senior scholars? Come on up. Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations.
Good luck. Congratulations.
Here we are.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, of course.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations. Well done. All right. And we have next.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, yes. And here we have Rebecca. Congratulations. I'm getting confused. All right.
No, it's okay.
And Marla, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you so very much.
Alicia, congratulations.
Thank you very
Well
much.
done. And Leah, congratulations.
Congratulations. All right.
Did we teach you how to organize for a picture? I'm going to get it way back here. All right, so taller in the back, a little bit less tall in the front. How about that? Let's figure that out. I'm moving a little bit.
See all of our faces? Yes. Okay.
Okay. Tough act to follow there. Wow. Okay. The next item on our agenda is a time-scheduled appointment. It's a presentation and a vote on the Parker Road Preschool Improvement Plan. Each Massachusetts public school must have a school council consisting of faculty, parents, and a community member who advise the principal on the development of the school improvement plan. This year, each school council has used the district's 2023 to 2027 strategic plan and the district's 2023 to 2024 strategic goals and action steps to determine which goals were most important to be emphasized and to develop school-specific goals aligned with the school district. The plan for Parker Road was enclosed in our booklet, and Miss Bridget Nichols is here tonight to take questions from the committee. I'd like to welcome Miss Nichols to the meeting.
Thank you. Just gonna hopefully have this work. All right. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am excited to be able to talk about Parker Road and talk about preschool in Shrewsbury. As the gateway to our highly regarded district, Parker Road Preschool it plays a pivotal role in the lives of our families. I am biased, of course, of its importance, but it truly is the first place for our students, many of our students in Shrewsbury, where they learn to love school and they fall in love with the idea of learning. I want to take just a few moments for those at home that may not know much about preschool in Shrewsbury. We currently have 3 different preschool locations in town. Parker Road Preschool, which is our integrated preschool, is housed at 2 different locations. So we have classrooms, integrated preschool classrooms, which means that there are students that receive specially designed instruction through their individual education program. At 15 Parker Road, as well as at the new Beale School, we have 2 preschool classrooms there as well. We also have our Little Colonials program, which is housed at the high school, and that is part of our early child development laboratory program. So it's not an integrated preschool, but it still very much is aligned with our preschool curriculum and follows the same standards. They have the benefit of having the high school students be a part of their preschool learning experience. So for our school council, we met first back in October of 2023 and unanimously decided to focus on 2 of the district's strategic priorities. The first one being the district's commitment to educational excellence. It can sometimes be hard to imagine what educational excellence looks like at the preschool level, so I'm excited to share with you a little bit about what we have been up to. Play, which is the primary mode through which we provide our instruction, consists of embedded instructional strategies, scaffolding, and supports within play. So our 3, 4, and 5-year-olds think that they are playing with blocks on the rug during whole group or during free play, and we see a beautifully orchestrated learning activity where we're targeting social skills, fine motor skills, communication skills, and early math skills. So we play a little trick on them, but it really is an opportunity for us to blend our learning across all the developmental domains. Our school-specific goal within the larger strategic priority of developing collective expertise of pre-K through grade 12 instructional leaders to identify and provide feedback on key elements of effective high-quality teaching is to increase our understanding and consistent implementation of universal design of learning principles. So UDL, which I'm sure you've heard a lot of, is what we want to make sure that is happening consistently across our preschool classrooms. So our teachers had an opportunity to look at how they're providing multiple means of engagement with their students, how they are providing multiple means of action and expression, as well as multiple means of representation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that looks like as well. So here is a picture of our teachers working on our early release days during the past school year. So we spent our time doing department work, and we split our groups into our group of teachers into two smaller groups. One to take a deep dive into that universal design of learning strategies in our classroom, as well as another group to look at how we are instructing our English language learners at the preschool level. So for this group here, we really wanted to get an understanding of how we're providing our tiered support in our classrooms and how that is embedded in those naturally occurring strategies through play. In terms of our district's commitment to enhance well-being of all, we have two separate goals, two school-specific goals that's looking at that. It's important to think not only for our staff and students, but our families. So that's why the goals are separated into two different goals. Oops, sorry, let me just go back here for a second. Our school-specific goal within the district's strategic priority is to make sure that we're pairing explicit instruction of certain social-emotional learning strategies with practice opportunities. One of the pieces, and I can move to this, that we are looking at is to make sure that we are modeling for our students what it is that we want them to achieve. So when we are rushing to get first in line at the copy machine, we're not pushing each other out of the way. We are not stamping our feet in a tantrum in the front of the classroom when our whiteboard's not working. We're learning how to regulate our emotions. We're learning how, as grown-ups, to regulate our emotions so that our students can learn from that as well. And our school-specific goal, our action steps really broke down for us how we were going to achieve that. And so some pictures here looking at that is on the, well, I don't know, your right or left, depending on how you look at it. It is a picture of our grown-up tune-up space that we created at 15 Parker Road. This is a quiet space that we were able to carve out in our building for grown-ups to go and check in on how those emotions might be showing up in their body. We all have moments of frustration in our workday, no matter what field you work in. And so to create space to allow those feelings to come up, where you could do it in a safe space, was really important for us. So we took some monetary donations as well as tangible donations from within our school community to create this space. So we have some snacks, we have some meditation cards, we have a diffuser, there's a beanbag in there, a yoga mat. And so creating space is part of how we're going to deal with our feelings. It's part of identifying those feelings and how they impact us in the classroom. But it also is important for us to look at what might be causing those big feelings. So we had an opportunity mid-year to take a survey of our staff to say, you know, what are some of your top successes that you've experienced so far, and what are some of those barriers that you've also experienced in the classroom or maybe outside of the classroom that's impacting your feelings of efficacy and your just overall feelings of success. So I want to just quickly talk through what the results showed us. So in terms of the top 3 successes, our staff felt that they were able to create a sense of belonging. They felt that they were able to identify the needs of their students and design and implement instructional strategies that met those needs. So all key pieces of who we are as a school community. So it was really important for us. Some of the barriers that you can see here that impact the staff's feelings of success and adequacy varied among both our paraprofessional staff as well as some of our professional staff. However, 30% of staff indicated that the short duration of the school day was a difficult challenge that they encountered. 25% shared that the number of demands on teachers impacted their feelings of efficacy, and 25% reported that the stress of their own home life impacted their success inside school. So as we all know, our individual lives can impact how we interact in our workday, in our other life. But we had an opportunity to have in-person meetings to go over the results of the survey. And what was clear from having those meetings was that people were looking for an increase in communication and connection with each other. That came across loud and clear for us. Our staff were looking for more training for paraprofessional support in our classrooms. And it was also really important that our families had access to resources and community events, both inside school as well as outside school, to build or to promote a sense of belonging and engagement. So we as the school council made that a priority for us, for the remainder of this school year, as well as looking ahead and how we can incorporate those pieces. So I am excited to say that, at least for the paraprofessional training, we have created an in-house program for that, for both our applied behavior analysis technicians as well as our special educational instructional aides. We have training opportunities for them that we're able to embed in their school day. And our PTO has been fantastic in helping to create more opportunities outside of school. So our evening activities seem to be where families are really able to connect and dial in. So our next goal area was where we were looking at our community, our larger community. So our students and staff were really looking to provide instruction on the CASEL frameworks. And here, this goal is our school-specific goal is looking to make sure that our larger community is benefiting from our social and emotional learning programming and supports. As I mentioned before, preschool is a first for our students, but it's also a first for our families. It's the first time that they're letting their babies at 3 years old be taught by someone else and have that opportunity to engage in a large group setting, learn how to be part of a group. Can be really hard. It's hard to put your individual needs aside for the good of the larger community. And so we want to make sure that parents feel supported as well as the students to feel like their school is safe, to feel like they belong and have a place where they can share their voice. So a few of the action steps for this larger goal area includes the collaboration of our teachers and English learner education programming, as well as our continued partnership with the PTO. This specific goal, the PTO has been key in supporting this value. We are extremely fortunate at Parker Road to have such caring, engaging, and thoughtful PTO board members, both past and present. We have here pictures of our fall festival, which is a really neat opportunity for us to host every year in October, mid-October, because it's a chance for families that are first coming into Parker Road to connect with one another. So even in those first 6 weeks of school, your child may not remember who they had snack with, but if they see them in the field or on the playground, you're going to be able to make that connection. And again, that's really important for our families to feel that connection. The other goal that we had for our PTO partnership this year was to have room parents. So the PTO was able to identify a parent in each room to help communicate the message of what it is that we want for our school community, how they can get involved, and where can they go if they have a question. So it was just nice to have someone besides the school teacher, your classroom teacher, to provide that information. I mentioned earlier that we had one of our small group of teachers working on UDL. Our other 4 teachers were able to do a deep dive into how we are instructing our English learners or our multiple language learners here at Parker Road. As a language-based program, we are implementing communication strategies or learning strategies for all of our students. So we have a really solid foundation of what we need to do in order for students to acquire language, whether it's English as a second language or if it's just learning how to communicate, with verbal language. So we knew we had a strong foundation, but we knew there was more. So these 4 teachers were able to travel to the integrated preschool in Milford and learn how they were implementing their programming for students who were learning English as a second language. And also to provide support for our special education population too, because it can be it can be a tricky balance to support. So this book here, One Child, Two Languages, was also a resource for that group of teachers. And they were able to provide some explicit instruction, vocabulary lessons for our whole group of teachers that they can now implement as part of our curriculum map. So it was we were able to end the school year through our early release day work to have tangible resources and action steps that our teachers could use. So it was really nice how it aligned with our school goals. Before I end, I'd like to thank our small but mighty school council. We had Mrs. Arlena Boyle, who is one of our speech and language pathologists at Parker Road, Miss Courtney Johnson, who is one of our ABA technicians, and then Mrs. Elizabeth D. Montigny, who is one of the parents of our preschoolers at Beale. So thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Colleagues, comments? Ms. Heffernan?
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for the report, Ms. Nichols. I have such a soft space in my heart for Parker Road. All three of my kids went through Parker Road, and I will never forget. We had just moved to Shrewsbury, and my oldest was 4, and he got in mid-year as we moved in, and he had been in a a daycare model that was also using the term preschool. And then when I compared it to what was happening in terms of the rigor in his first couple of months at Parker Road, and they said, they asked him a question about writing his name, and I thought I was a new mom. I didn't know. Like, should he be writing his name? I guess he doesn't know how to write his name. And then within days, he's writing his name and writing his name everywhere and identifying letters. And so the work that you're doing, how foundational it is, and how much, how welcoming that environment always has been for parents to kind of understand. I appreciate all the efforts you're going to continue to sort of think about how to build those strong cultures. But when each one of my kids went through your art program and thinking about from the painting of sunflowers and talking about Van Gogh to the Jackson Pollock and using those terms and painting upside down and talking about Michelangelo, painting the Sistine Chapel, I was just like blown away. And so continue to just see the value. And I appreciate your efforts to hear from the faculty about what's hard. Certainly it's a unique model amongst all of our schools, and the half day and the days of the week, and it's just a very different setup. And I think your faculty are incredibly diligent. So the fact that it's hard to get everything they want done in those short amount of time, I certainly hear and appreciate, and want to just really call out your attempts to think about how to better support as our populations change, and we, thinking about our ELL program, obviously it's always been an integrated program, and so that's a piece. But I just have a complete belief that because we start at such a young age, that also is part of the culture of our students that go through those programs. And so my daughter said to me the other day, I know we're about to hear about the RISE program, and that one of the RISE students was at Sherwood, and it meant nothing to her that he was using an iPad to communicate and struggled verbally, because she's like, that's how he talks, Mom. And I'm like, right, that's how he talks, right? And so, but I know that we're building that, really starting right at Parker Road, as we have to think about different learning styles and kids who have different needs, and the kids pick up on all of that. And so you're really creating that foundation for so many kids. I continue to wish that we had more space and ability to expand it, because I know there's a lot of demand, and I know as a parent who only got the so many days and not as many as I wanted, right, that there's a lot of pent up things there. But I'm just really impressed with the work you're doing. So you have a small but mighty school council, but I want to also just thank you for your leadership, because I think there's such critical work that's happening there. So not only have I experienced it, but you hear it from the families who just, they gush about it, right? If your kid got it, and like, they love it. So, and I know I'm not alone. So thank you for the really great work that you're doing.
Ms. Fritz?
Thank you. I know Ms. Nichols helped us with our pre-K through 4 space needs study. And we talk about foundational and where it's starting and the space that's needed. There's definitely more families who need this foundational beginning. Like you said, it's the first place where families and students start. And the better we do at that initial phase, to me as a parent, I think the better students will be as they move through. And Ms. Nichols provided a very detailed report to our committee when we were looking at the space needs to really explain how the program works, where it's situated. And I think there were people on the committee, myself included, who didn't know about little pieces. So Thank you for everything you do. It is a wonderful program. Students do so well, but again, I think this is another area as a school district that we definitely have pent-up need, and hopefully we'll be able to expand that someday soon. So thank you for everything.
Ms. Riefenborn.
I'm pretty much going to say exactly what you said. All three of my kids went through Parker Road, so I have a very soft spot for it. And we had a similar that we moved to Shrewsbury, and right after we moved to Shrewsbury, I got Leah all set up with preschool, and then I got a call from a teacher, and it was like, "Are you coming to get her evaluated?" I was like, she was my first time doing it, so we got in. We've had three of the kids went in, had three very different but very great experiences. When my youngest was in Parker Road, I was in Miss Nichols' office like all the time because of PTO. But my little one would come home and she would talk about Miss Pickles. And I was like, who's Miss Pickles? Like, and I was like trying to like, maybe it was somebody in the classroom, and I'd keep doing it. And it was like one day we got out of the car and she's like, "Hi, Miss Pickles," right to Miss Pickles. I was like, okay. But Parker Road, just for me, it provides so much, and it's difficult in that all three of my kids, one went 5 days a week, one went 3 days a week. It was, different things, and it's really hard, and I think that our teachers at Parker Road hold themselves to a really high standard, and it's really hard to teach kids in a 2.5 hour day everything that you want to. Some only go 2 days a week, but for that 2.5 hours, the 5 hours that they're there during the week, whatever it is, these kids really come out of Parker Road set up for success in kindergarten, and that is a testament truly to the teachers, but also under your leadership at Parker Road. So I want to thank you for everything that you do at Parker.
Ms. Boucher.
I'd also like to thank you for the report. It was very well done, and I also would like to thank you for your assistance with the pre-K to 4 space study that we engaged in this year. Your input was very valuable, and to echo Ms. Fritz's comments, with regard to just being able to offer more to more families, because I think the survey results that we saw indicated that a lot of families could really use 5 days a week and would really like to see even maybe a full day program, and maybe something half day at 3 and full day at 4, or so there's just a lot there to kind of keep our eye on. And I think for us as a school committee, it's something that we really should, keep focusing on, because I think that's, just responding to what the community is looking for and potential needs down the road, and keeping this in mind as we're doing future planning. So thank you.
Thank you. I know the teachers definitely wanted that heard, so I really appreciate you all hearing that messaging that they would love more space. Yes, they would love more time with these kids that they adore. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the report. I only had 1 year as a parent at Parker Road, but it was excellent. I know my son Jack was at Little Colonials to start. Miss Monica felt he needed a little bit more structure, so second year is spent at Parker Road, and we just had a great experience. So thank you for all that you're doing there. I was actually I appreciated the how you're addressing staff wellness as well, finding that quiet space. I know space is at a premium. We know that, so that's great that you were able to achieve that. And then I like the data that you're collecting around kind of the staff sentiments as well. It really is helpful to understand kind of where those barriers are. And then I also like that, like the parent communication, having that parent designee, it sounds like, for each classroom, I think is just great to have somebody to connect with other parents to kind of explain kind of, expectations and, just help them along. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Dr. Sawyer.
Thank you, Mr. Wensky. I want to thank Ms. Nichols and the entire faculty and staff at Parker Road Preschool, and both at Parker Road and Beale, as well as Little Colonials. We have a superb preschool program that makes a huge difference and is the launching pad for their careers in the Shrewsbury Public Schools. And I'm looking forward to seeing the senior walk very soon when students will come back in their cap and gowns, and I know it's very meaningful to the many teachers. And we've had a very stable staff there, a lot of longtime teachers who taught these students who are now graduating from high school now, and that kind of stability has been very important. I did had the opportunity, along with Ms. Belcito, to visit the Young Athletes celebration recently. That's one of the things that was instituted that was able to earn Parker Road the designation as a unified champion school with Special Olympics. And that's just one of the very many ways that Parker Road is a model of inclusion. It always has been. It's a joyful place for children, and where everyone who's had the opportunity, including myself, two of my own children were able to attend. It's just been a wonderful experience, and really appreciate the thoughtfulness that's gone into the school improvement plan and ways you're trying to advance and always get better. And the time that I've known Ms. Nichols, I know that she's constantly thinking about how they can improve opportunities for students and make that preschool experience for them and for their families as positive and as successful as possible. So I certainly support the vote to adopt the school improvement plan. I do want to let people know that this plan was done a very long time ago. It isn't like they're waiting to institute it. It's just we had not, for my own scheduling of things didn't happen until now to highlight Parker Road, but I'm glad we're able to do that tonight. And we'll be looking forward to hearing how things go with this plan and subsequent plans that are very tightly coupled with our overall district strategic plan, which I certainly appreciate as well. I'll conclude by saying I did appreciate, and this is something, if you find a way to influence the larger, not so much Shrewsbury community, but generally in society, I did note where you said that having a way for grown-ups to regulate their emotions is a very important thing that I'm hopeful that will happen more often in our society than maybe it is right now in many cases. So thank you for teaching our preschoolers to do that. These are lessons that will stick with kids for the rest of their lives. Whether they can articulate that or not, there are things that are deep-seated that kids learn in preschool that they're drawing on throughout their lives, and it's really it's about the best investment you can make. So thank you to your staff, and I recommend that the school committee approve the Parker Road School Improvement Plan.
Great, thank you so much. Colleagues, we do need to vote on this plan, so if I could have a motion that the school committee vote to approve the 2023-2024 school improvement plan for Parker Road Preschool.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. The next item on the agenda is also a time schedule appointment. It's an update on the RISE program and Maple and Main retail store. Ms. Belcito is here, and she'll present an update on the RISE program, Reaching Independence Through Supported Employment, and on the Maple and Main retail business and learning space presented by RISE. Welcome, Ms. Belcito.
Thanks for having me. Let's see. So thank you for having me this evening. Before I begin, I'd like to thank the RISE and Maple and Main team. We have an extraordinary number of educators working together to make this program and business the success that it is to date. Without administrators and educators like Megan Bartlett, Christine Pellerin, Jen Tabor, Erin Rascosi, Christy Menard, our related service providers, job coaches, this presentation would not have been possible. Tonight, I'll touch upon some of the highlights of the program, but mostly about our financials to date. So it has been an exciting year for RISE, our students, our staff, and our families. For review, the goal of RISE is to provide a post-secondary transition program designed for students age 18 to 22 who, through the team process, qualify for additional learning opportunities following their high school experience. The goal of the program is to provide students with the skills and experiences they need to successfully and independently navigate the local community. The focus is to increase students' overall independence with functional life skills, employment opportunities, and community access. And here's a picture of all of the students this year and staff. While all students have opportunities to work at Maple and Main, it is key to also have them experience work opportunities that align with their personal and family's vision. Pictured here are some of the vocational opportunities RISE students were able to procure, keeping in mind that 13 of these students were new to the program this academic year. This speaks to the tenacity of our team to get our students into the workforce within our local communities. It is our hope that prior to the students leaving that they have experienced several employment or internship opportunities so they understand several occupations and are able to pursue work that is fulfilling. So here's some on this slide and also on this one. So to date, we have over 20 internship opportunities that have been solidified by Christine Pellerin, our RISE coordinator, and Jen Tabor has also assisted, and also the teachers. So it's definitely a group effort in securing these opportunities for our students. We also would like to acknowledge many of our community partners. Here on the slide, you see all of them to date, and I will note that 3 are offering paid internships. So Kitchen Sink Candle Company, Components Sources International Group, and Spectrum Enterprises pay our students for their internships this year, which is amazing. So given what we know about our current students and their needs, we're projecting the following enrollment for the next 4 years. Please keep in mind that students may enter the program at age 18 and stay, if appropriate, up to age 22. Students will be aging into the program, exiting the program, and remaining in the program during the course of these 4 years. Currently, our FY24, our fiscal year 24 staffing through the Special Education 240 grant, we have 2 special education teachers. We have 1 related services full FTE, so that includes speech and language, occupational therapy, and some adjustment counseling. We have 1 retail store manager. We have 6 job coaches. Next year, we anticipate the need for 8 job coaches. Funding for FY24 comes from 2 sources. First, the district utilized the American Rescue Plan grant for special education, which totaled over $390,000 for startup expenses related to equipping and outfitting the educational space and the retail operation. These startup costs are not included in the operational budget slide here. But second, funds from the Federal Individuals with Disability Education Act, IDEA 240, were used to cover staffing and facility-related expenses utilizing available funds from the FY23 carryover. So the 240 grant, just so for review, is an entitlement based on the state's formula using the enrollment of all of our students, both public and private in town, and also along with that formula, students that are considered to be living in poverty. They use this formula and they come up with the entitlement amount that our town sees. As an example, from FY23 to FY24, we stayed pretty consistent with the amount we received through this grant. From 23 to 24, we had an additional $100,000. So we went from about 1.6 million to 1.7 million in this grant. This slide shows the detailed expenses for operating the RISE program in FY24 and the funding sources in each of the categories. I want to thank Chris Girardi for supporting the financial aspects of this work, and to Patrick Collins, who has now retired, as we all know, but whose projections starting in 2022 for all of this were so extremely spot on, it's actually crazy. With a small exception around waste and snow removal, which I know that he will be bothered by that. But we weren't exactly sure how that was all going to play out, and snow is a factor. You never know how it's going to go. We projected about $1,800 in that particular line in waste removal, but we're at about $2,700 right now. So FY24 program specific costs to date with projections through June are $1,156,170 detailed in the chart. This difference of $18,929 from March 2023 projection and represents the most updated information of the cost of the RISE program. The RISE program for FY24, detailed in the previous slide, totaled $1.156 million. This budget ensures that the cost per pupil remains lower than sending the same students to out-of-district placements. If the RISE program had not been created, it is likely that the 16 current students would have attended out-of-district age 18 to 22, probably the Evolution program as part of the Assabet Valley Collaborative in Marlboro that our district previously enrolled students and used. The total program cost that the district would have incurred to send the students to Assabet Valley, including tuition and transportation is estimated at about $1,498,311, which would have been more than $342,000 greater than the cost of the RISE program. This shows that the program is financially favorable for the district, while at the same time providing an extremely high-quality program within our own Shrewsbury community. The property at 557 Main Street was secured through the competitive procurement process in September of 2023, entering Shrewsbury Public Schools into a 5-year lease agreement with the Chatroni Properties. The space consists of 3,636 square feet, divided between the RISE educational space and Maple and Main storefront. Rent for the current fiscal year is at $105,440 paid in 12 installments of $8,787 with an annual 3% increase, resulting in monthly rent of about $9,050 for FY25. The property lease costs for all 5 years are shown in this slide. The district uses a contracted service for the custodial support twice a week that began in October of 2023. I'd like to thank the RISE students and staff who work on a daily basis to bring trash outside to the dumpsters, restock the bathroom and kitchen, sweep the floors, clean surfaces, and much more, and care for the inside of Maple and Main as well. Maple and Main provides opportunities for students to practice a variety of transferable employment skills in an environment that mimics future employment opportunities. Through our retail stores, students can practice skills such as soft skills, customer service, restocking, inventory, and custodial. Here is the CBS broadcast that highlighted Maple and Main presented by RISE.
A store in Shrewsbury is helping its employees gain more independence.
Levin's here with a look at the difference they're trying to make in the community, Levin.
Kate Liam, a Greater Boston starts with the saying, it takes a village. And in Shrewsbury, they are living up to that motto. Maple and Main is a retail store that opened up in November. They sell great items, but it's the individuals that work there that make this shop a must-stop.
Hi, I'm Ryan from the RISE program, and this is our tour of the Maple Main store.
In the heart of Shrewsbury, there's a store that's changing lives.
Hi.
Hi. So get this. The Shrewsbury Public Schools wanted to assist young adults with disabilities between the ages of 18 and 22.
And we had the good fortune of having support from the Department of Education, as well as our school committee superintendent and our families.
And in connection with the RISE program, Maple and Main is run by students who are neurodivergent.
In the store, there's a fridge of drinks. And this is a picture. These are the food items.
These are the food items?
And this is handbags. And these are clothes.
The students give tours. And they've even made some of the items in the store. I heard you designed a glass here.
I did, yes.
What was the glass?
It's like a pixie glass. The thing that I wanted to put on was a thing that said "Rise and Shine."
That's awesome. That's awesome. They make sure the shelves stay full, and they all work together. This program is doing wonders.
So RISE is very important to our students. This is the time in their life when they're learning to become part of their community, learn about the community at large, pre-employment, employment.
So it looks like
it's starting to become a responsibility, and I'm fine with responsibility.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
Just that I like to do responsibility and fun when I'm doing job.
Now, Meg gave me a list of partners and people that are in assistance to make sure the store thrives, and all of them deserve a high five because the students in the store are smiling and learning and they feel seen. And Liam and Kate, you walk into the store, you feel the love, see all the joy, and then you don't want to leave. And that's why you purchase some of the items that are great, and they're all made by the students. It's just fabulous. I went there on Valentine's Day, and of course I bought a whole bunch of stuff.
We talk about work burnout and company culture. I bet you working there is a magical place.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Brighten your spirits.
Brighten
I
your
love
spirits.
how proud they are of the work they do there.
Great story, Lev. Thank you.
A store in Shrewsbury is helping its employees.
Happens to me every time. Okay. So Maple and Main's retail manager, Jen Tabor, responsibilities include all of the merchandising strategies, store operations, and student instruction with both customer services and product development. Our store has a mix of candy and snacks, Shrewsbury products and apparel, and rotating seasonal mix of pop-up products. All of the decisions are made in the context of our ability to support students with disabilities and the basics of customer service, inventory, production, management, and cashier training. We have had a very successful start to our retail business. Maple and Main, in its first year of operation, has begun tracking revenue trends from store sales, which currently offset some store inventory expenses as well. As we monitor revenue streams into year 2, we anticipate a better understanding of the monthly revenue that could be used to offset operational costs, whether that's restocking items or the portion of rent or other building costs. As seen, our sales to date, subtracting taxes and any point of sales donations made through the program through tips, are over $51,000. So we have a couple other funding sources. The IDEA grant, as I mentioned earlier, is our annual recurring grant. Alongside town appropriated funds, will continue to be used in fiscal years 25 and beyond to fund our RISE program costs, saving these dollars that would have otherwise be budgeted in our special education tuition account. The other highlight for other sources would be the Blackstone Valley Hub YouthWorks, who will be partnering with the Shrewsbury Public Schools to employ RISE students at Maple and Main. YouthWorks is a state-funded youth employment program that helps teens and young adults get skills and experience needed to keep and find jobs. So how does it work? A lot of people aren't familiar with it. We really weren't until it was introduced to us and we were accepted. RISE students will take part in paid work placement at public, private, and nonprofit work sites like Maple and Main, complete employability and durability skill training with RISE staff. They have case management opportunities as needed through YouthWorks and create next steps in their education and career pathways. Students will receive $17.25 per hour for work during extended hours at Maple and Main. Each student will have the opportunity to work up to 300 hours per calendar year. Payment for their work will be either direct deposit or a paper check. I happened to be there the day that the checks dropped into their bank accounts. That was an exciting moment for a number of students. They had been waiting, so they had some back pay, so it was a pretty big first check. One of the most exciting pieces of the partnership with YouthWorks involves the ability for our students to access services from them beyond the age of 22. A team consisting of myself with the Assistant Superintendent for Community Partnerships and Wellbeing, Shrewsbury parents, community members have met throughout the school year in fundraising efforts to support the RISE program. I'd like to thank Dr. Jane Lazat, Mel Chacharoni, Donna Simone, Faraz Sayed, Gareth McClendon, and Emily Anderson for all of their time and effort to get this effort off the ground. A RISE information kit, who was helped designed by another Shrewsbury parent, Katrina Larlier, who I can't thank enough, was finalized as a tool to begin to share with potential donors as an effort to share the mission, goals, and further details about RISE in Maple and Main. The purpose of this campaign is to expand learning, transportation, community, and employment opportunities for our students. And to date, thanks to the generosity of many, we've raised over $96,000. The district is so grateful to all the donors to RISE. When a donation of $500 or $1,000 comes into the district, we acknowledge this by adding their names to the donor wall inside Maple and Main, which is shown here. Other acknowledgments of donations of larger than $1,000 are noted by plaques on benches outside or by tiles inside sponsored near learning spaces. This slide shows the various ways people can donate and be acknowledged for their contributions to the program. We are always accepting donations. You can access the donation page through our RISE webpage and the Maple and Main website. And certainly on behalf of the RISE students, our staff, and families, we thank you. We hope to have a very lasting impact on the Shrewsbury community in the future, now and in the future.
Great. Thank you for the presentation. Colleagues, questions, comments? Ms. Heffernan.
Yeah, it's certainly, it just brings a smile to all of us. This program has been incredible from the moment you first talked about it. And I know we had a lot of questions, but to see it come all the way through to fruition, and having a sort of a first annual report post-opening, right? When I think about where we were just a year ago, it's certainly incredible, and I think the testament to all of the staff you have, to your perseverance in this, which I know is a labor of love, and you put an awful lot of time into it, but also really evident by the donations and community support that you've been able to find, right? This is just, as the news article said, right? It's just, it's heartwarming in every way. So, and you want to just spend a minute, just because I think I think I'm right about this, but I'd love it, Ms. Balsita, if you can just confirm for me. The IDEA 240 grant, which is sort of the predominant when we look at the accounting sort of way we're funding the program, I think sometimes is confusing to the folks maybe outside the district. Since it's called a grant, it sounds like one of our competitive grants that we sort of apply for and maybe one-off, whereas my understanding of IDEA, and I think you tried to explain it, but I'm just sort of looking for some confirmation, is that it is a formula-based funding that we can expect on an annual basis that we were receiving before RISE, and that should RISE not exist, we would receive again, depending on the number of students we have and their level of need. That's right?
Yes, so there are two types of grants we receive from the state. So some are entitlement and some are competitive.
Okay.
Both require work and narratives, so it's not like you just press a button and receive the grant. So you have to have a plan, just like in a competitive grant, there are narratives as to what your action plan will be for the use of the funding. It has to be approved. You have to show measurable progress and things of that nature. So yes, this is the 240 grant. It's an entitlement grant that Shrewsbury receives every single year, and that's based on the state formula. Competitive grants might use a different kind of formula, or might use different factors that we have in our progress monitoring system, for example. But this particular 240 grant is an entitlement grant we get every year.
And would it be fair to say, I guess people might be wondering, what were we using the 240 grant for before this? And we're not using quite all of it, which certainly is great. Was it predominantly supporting students of a similar need base to pay for the vocational, to pay their out-of-district tuition at programs like at Assabet, or were we applying and using those funds in a different way?
Primarily, it was used for transportation.
Okay.
So for many, many years, as long as I've been here, the primary focus for the 240 grant was for transportation.
For out-of-district transit for special education. So
all transportation.
All transportation. Okay. Well, it certainly is exciting to see how this goes. I could tell you the thing when I often talk with my own family about the things on our agenda, what I'm going to be doing tonight, and when I brought this up, the number one question I got is, when will the hours be longer? Because and I've heard it from others too, like I want to get in there and I keep missing it. And so I share that, not to push on the hours, but to say sort of the energy and enthusiasm in the community to try to want to see this be successful. So kudos to everybody for all that work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know when this all started, it was new, it was different, and we were, what is this going to look like? How will it work? And it's been a tremendous amount of work for you, for your staff, but I cannot be more proud of all the work that you've done to get this. It is an educational program, but it also flows into, we've got this Maple and Main. It's a store. How is this all going to work? And the school committee does have a fiduciary responsibility to look at the funds. And I think this is another really good news story for our district that shows the amount of work that goes into fiscal responsibility, over $300,000 in savings to the taxpayers because of bringing this program in-house, and a real high-quality program for families, for their students to attend. It's revenue generating as a retail business, and it's also, you're raising a significant amount of fundraising. So it's just, again, fiscal responsibility as a school district, and I think that needs to be highlighted. To me, the most important part is the educational piece, but again, the fiscal responsibility and what this is doing for us as a district is also a key component for what we do as school committee members. So thank you, highly impressed, and I agree. More hours would be great. You drive by, I'm like, oh no, they're closed.
Ms. Boucher.
I'd also just like to thank you and your whole team for this just tremendous amount of work that went into this year to get this to where it is today. To look at this report in May, after you just opened in November, it's just so impressive. And to look at what the district is saving and what we're providing these kids, we're saving almost $350,000, but we're giving them this program not that the other programs that we had sent them to weren't also very good, but this is in their own community, giving them skills that they can use and being part of the place where they live, and be able to continue their education in Shrewsbury. It's just tremendous. So just thank you, and thank you to all the people in the community that have also supported your fundraising efforts. They were almost at $100,000. I mean, it's just such all good news. So just thank you to you and to all of your staff, and for all the other, community members that have contributed.
I also want to echo what everybody else is saying, and to thank you to you and your team, because this is just such an incredible program that everyone, the district, us, the community, should be so proud of. And I'm actually, speaking of the community, I don't know who's behind it. I'm sure it's all of you behind it, but I love the pop-up markets that happen, the nights where you can do candle dipping, and those are just so creative that it's a great opportunity for the students, and it adds to their educational component. But I really, if anybody in the district or the community hasn't dropped into Maple and Main, it's a really great place to go to shop, but to take advantage of some of the nights that you guys have created. It's really a really nice opportunity. So I just thank you for that.
Great. Well, I love everything about this program. I want to thank you and your staff for making this a reality. Really, we've been talking about this for a long time, and it's just great to see it come to reality. And really, the staff, the students, the customers that have come through the doors, and the donors that have made very generous donations. I'm very excited to present this as one of the selected highlights for FY24 during town meeting on Monday. I have to tell you that love the report. It's given me a lot of ideas on how to present this to the community that may not know enough about it or don't watch our school committee meetings. And I like the creative ways that you're finding to produce the products through screen printing, the bundling of the candy, and even the partnerships with the pop-up shops, which actually my wife and daughter attended that candle making event, and they had a blast with like 40 others. And I actually was assigned to go up and pick up the final product. And those students could not have been happier to greet me and to show me around and to get my candles ready. I was just super impressed with all of it. And as was mentioned too, the savings to the district, this is another example of how we're finding ways, creative ways, to save significant dollars for this district, $342,000. Which I would expect likely grow as the years go on with this program. So tribute to you and your staff. Thank you so much. It's just awesome. Dr. Sawyer.
You have said so much that's right on point, and certainly want to thank Ms. Belcito for her leadership and her vision to create this wonderful program. She'll be the first to tell you it was many people who put it together and worked really hard to create this. And I know she mentioned so many during her presentation. I appreciate the community supporting it the way that they have. I think this is the proverbial, I think it's multiple, it's not just win-win, it's like win-win, win-win. It's between having a super high quality program for our students, which is our first responsibility. Secondly, to do that in a way that keeps them in their own community, which and includes them here, which is certainly our goal. Thirdly, to do this in a manner that is creating tremendous value, not only for quality, but financially. And when I add these three pieces together, the $340,000 roughly that it's just saving us just purely on a programming basis, having nothing to do with anything else in terms of the retail operation or the philanthropic donations, alone that's $340,000. You add the $52,000 in sales, you add the $96,000 in contributions, you're at $488,000, close to $500,000 in value that this program is generating while providing a superior experience for our students. So it's something it should be enormously proud of. It will be, I suspect, it will be hard to top, of course. It will probably be the magnum opus of Ms. Belcito's career. It has just been extraordinary how well this has been done. I'm so grateful for everyone who's involved, and it is purely, absolutely, as we saw in the clip, from WBZ. I mean, it is joyful to be in that space. The students are terrific. It's a wonderful centerpiece for our community in the center of of town, and I could not be more proud. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to town meeting hearing about it next Monday evening. So thanks.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for your time. I'll absolutely share about the hours, and I give total credit to those pop-up events, to Jen and Christine and the teachers for all of their ideas and reaching out to the many people that actually, the vendors that have come in to join in those events too. So I will pass along all of this to them and be sure to share all of your thoughts this evening. So thank you for your time and appreciate the support.
Thanks so much. All right, the next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. The minutes from our meetings, the school committee workshop held on May 1st have been provided under separate cover, and the minutes from the school committee meeting held on May 8th also enclosed. Colleagues, any revisions or edits? There being none, we will approve them as written. We do need to go into executive session tonight, therefore I need to request a motion to adjourn into executive session, A, for the purposes of addressing Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements. Purpose 7, open meeting law, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Sections 24F and G, for the purpose of reviewing, approving, and or releasing executive session minutes. And B, for the purpose of addressing Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect of the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Purpose 3, the Shrewsbury Education Association Units A and or B, the Shrewsbury Paraprofessional Association and or the Cafeteria Workers Association, and C, for the purpose of addressing Massachusetts General Law, Chapters 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, non-union clerical and support staff and or administrators. Purpose 2, where deliberation in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, and return to open session only for the purpose of adjourning for the evening. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote is required. Ms. Fritz?
Aye.
Ms. Boucher?
Aye.
Ms. Sharifapour?
Aye.
Ms. Heffernan?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Thank you and good night.